So the new DJI Air S2 has all these new active track sensors on them, and everybody wants to know how well, a new drone tracks. So let's see how well they work. All right, so I'm hand holding today. So sorry if things don't look as stable as they normally are. Also not using a lavalier mic because I actually have to use the phone now to control the drone. So hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Big Ball Vlog. I do reviews, news, everyday vlogging, and every once in a while I'll do a tutorial. If this video is educational or somewhat entertaining, please consider smashing that like button and maybe subscribing to the channel for new videos when I post them. So yeah, new DJI Air 2, can't flip it right now because I'm using portrait video, has all of these new sensors. Well, it's got better sensors or more sensors than the previous Mavic Air 2. And when a new drone comes out, a lot of people just want to know how well it tracks. So today I just thought I would go out and do a real world test of the tracking features on it. I mean, I think, when I watch some of these guys do YouTube videos about tracking, they're comparing it to something like the Skydio R2, right? Skydio R2, comparing the Skydio R2 and any DJI drone is like comparing an apple to a pineapple. It's not the same thing. The Skydio R2 is leaps and bounds when it comes to tracking above DJI, and they really try to put these DJI drones through the paces that I don't think that DJI intended for them to be put through. I mean, I think DJI wanted to give you a drone that's going to track you in open situations without a whole bunch of obstacles to potentially crash your drone into. And give you a little bit more security when you give you things like a password to fly through it. But they didn't intend for you, like I saw in one video, to go riding your bike at like 40 miles an hour through heavily wooded area and expect this thing to keep up with you. You are taking your drone's life into your own hands when you do something like that, and I do not intend to do that today. What I'm actually going to do is just some real world tests. I'm going to get on my skateboard, my electric skateboard. We're going to go around the neighborhood one time, see if it keeps up with me and see if it loses me. I'm not going to do anything crazy with it. And then I'm going to do some walking tests. I'm going to try to walk through some obstacles and see if it's able to go under and around like the previous DJI Mavic Air 2 was able to do. With these new sensors, shouldn't be a problem. If there is, we're going to find out. So because I got to use the phone to fly the drone, I'm going to flip this thing, get up in the air. I'm going to take a skateboard ride around the neighborhood and see if it keeps up with us. Let's see what it does.
Take off. The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
All right. So again, sorry if this is a little bit loud, a little bit windy. Every time I get outside, the wind starts to pick up. So what we're going to do right now, like I said, we're going to do just a simple active track test. What I want to do is I want to go into my active track, recording a high frame rate. Oh my goodness, I can't record. You can't record with active track in 4K 60 apparently. I forgot that in my previous test of this. I kind of got up in the air to test it out. So when I do that, it says spotlight mode, which is the mode where you're able to pretty much like either control the drone while it's focused on you or have the drone do a specific move while you're not piloting it. Doesn't work in 4K 60. So I think I got to turn that down to 4K 30. Now let's leave it at 4K and leave it at 4K 30, and we should be good to go. So we are in video right now. We're going to go into spotlight mode, and we're good to go. So I'm going to leave it in spotlight mode, and what spotlight mode is going to do is, no, actually I'm not going to leave it in spotlight mode. I'm going to put it in active track mode. Active track mode is going to keep the drone following me, keep me in frame, hopefully, and I won't have to pilot it. If I put it in spotlight mode, that means that the drone is going to stay locked on me, but I can use the sticks to pilot it as I am doing other things. But since I'm riding a skateboard and I'm using a remote, I only got two hands and I can't do that. So right now we're just going to, like I said, let's see if we can get this thing to follow us around the neighborhood. I'm going to take it up a little bit just to make sure it's high enough to stay above all traffic. And then maybe what I'll do is I think if you go into active track, you can do trace or parallel. So trace is going to keep it behind me, Parallel is going to keep it on the side of me. I want to keep it in trace mode because, again, guys try to push these things to the limit. It does not have side or obstacle avoidance. It will fly on an angle to try to avoid things that it can see in front of it. But if you're going to put it into parallel, make sure you got some open space so that it doesn't fly sideways into a tree or something. So like I said, with that said, we are going to go back in the after track. We have it in trace again. And I think we're good to go. Skateboard's all good on. So let's get it going. I think that was a pretty good test. I mean, like I said, real world, realistic situations. I want to get out. I want to get on my electric skateboard. I want to kind of like go up and down the boardwalk or whatever. I'm missing obstacles. I didn't really try to hit any poles or go underneath anything super crazy. But in the next test, what we're going to do is we're going to actually do a walking test. I've done this jogging before, but I'm a little bit heavy, so I'm not going to be jogging today. And I ran through, some pretty, you'll see in a second, I ran through some pretty difficult obstacles for a drone that can track you. Like literally trees that were, just a little bit over my head. A lot of obstacle, a lot of debris, kind of hanging, what they call those ghost branches. And the previous drone made it through. So let me flip it around. Let me get it back up in the air. And we'll do a quick walking test to see if it can actually follow me through some denser obstacles and see how it does. Try. All right, so a lot tighter here. Let's see if it can make it under these trees and through these obstacles. And by the way, this is probably a little bit more dangerous than you guys realize, because I forgot to buy the refresh care. So like I said, this is very low. See what it can do. And I'm not going to take it too fast because I want it to be able to pick its paths. And follow me through. And it did it. It took a second. It took a second to think about it. It said, hey, got an obstacle in front of me. How do I get around it? And it followed me through. All right. Very simple test. Very simple, realistic, real world test where if you had this thing and you wanted to get out and kind of have some hands off, someone, well, not someone, but something film you hands off so you can kind of like walk and just, do your thing. I think that this drone is totally capable of avoiding obstacles, if not pushed to its limits. Again, I'm not sure whether or not these front-facing sensors, the ones that are kind of on a 45-degree angle, are any better than the forward-facing sensors, because on the previous drone, it only had forward-facing sensors. But I'm guessing that DJI gave you those sensors to give you top obstacle avoidance that were more camera than, I don't think I can see myself here, that were more camera than I think the Mavic 2 Pro, which was more IR than camera. And for that, I don't know. I don't know if cameras work better than IR sensors, but as you can see, the drone can track you pretty well. Don't know if I'll do a motorcycle test. I tried that before, didn't go well because it just kept losing the motorcycle, and I think that was on the Mavic Air 2. I got like not far on that skateboard path that I just took. I got up to the first stop sign and it lost me like 3 times. But as far as people and as far as the speed of my skateboard, which is probably a little less than maybe around 15 miles an hour at the speed that I was going, it does perfectly fine. So think about that if you're thinking about buying this drone for active track. I haven't tried to test the rear sensors. Haven't tried to back it up into anything. Maybe in a future video, I will fly it backwards and see if if it sees me. I'm pretty sure it will, because the rear sensors have always been good on any DJI drone. In fact, all of the DJI drones that I've had, I think that their obstacle avoidance is pretty awesome. It's not, like I said, it's not it's not Skydio, but it's pretty freaking awesome. So yeah, if you're thinking about buying this and we're curious whether or not it would track you or had any problems with the tracking, or we're curious about how well the tracking system works, I think it did a good job. So I got about 3 more videos to shoot while I have decent weather. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. I'll talk to you later.